Yo, what's up? I am OMEHGA, and this is Diverse Clarity. This is where we have those thought-provoking conversations about things that matter and some that don't. And of course, as always, I'm here with my man, my co-host, Mr. John D.
What up, though? What's happening? What's really good?
What's good, man?
Living that good life, working with the wife now, trying to get better, but become a better communicator. Like we've been working on ways for me to be more effective so that people can not get lost in me trying to say stuff that don't really mean. You know what I'm saying?
You got any tips and tricks that you want to give to people out there since you're actively working on it? Just
as recent as this morning, she does not like me saying, "You don't really know me."
I can get that.
Yeah, and the reason why I say that is because it's not her. It's because my communication is so bad, and I just automatically assume that she knows something that she may not really know. This morning, like I told her that we needed to start talking about. I said immediately when she says something that kind of makes me might make my temperature change.
Okay,
I want her to know what it is, and I realize. I'll give you an example. Say no more. You ever heard anybody say that?
Say no more? Like, I got it. Like, I understand. Say no more. Yeah.
But see, when I hear say no more, it could mean different things.
Right.
And, if I said, hey, I want you to come through the crib and I got the drinks, I got this, and you'd be like, say no more.
Right.
So I was talking about something that like agreements, and she said, say no more. So in my head, I'm thinking like, that's shut up. Like, okay. And I said, you don't really know me because you would have never known. To me, it's like a sarcastic, I got it. Okay. You don't have to. Right. And I'm in a sensitive moment right now. And I hear you say no more.
Yeah.
And then when I say, yeah, you just don't know me. And then it's like, it just continues to go down. I said, look, I didn't mean it that way. But I took your say no more as sarcasm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm telling you something that bothers me, and you say no more. And I'm like.
See, you saying that, right? It makes me think, and I've never really thought about, I guess I have thought about this, but not in the way that I'm about to say it. We never know how to fully communicate to people because it's constantly changing, right? Even if you do, air quotes, know someone.
You don't know what their air quotes are.
Well, but the thing is, you don't know where they at. Because you said you were in a sensitive place. Mm-hmm. You don't know where they at. Because if I don't know, man, like, let's go back in the day, right? And we talk about your mama jokes, right? And if I make a your mama joke, everybody probably gonna laugh. Oh, your mama so this, your mama so that. But then you got one person that's also in that group and he's laughing and making the your mama jokes. But then he loses his mother sometime during that school year. And the next time we make your mama jokes,
it's different.
He feeling some kind of way. And we can obviously understand, but everybody in the group didn't know that.
Yeah.
All we knew was every snack break, every time we go get chips and Starburst from the little concession, we gonna meet outside on the side of the basketball court, on the side of the gym, and we gonna snap.
Yeah.
And it's your mama jokes all day long. We didn't know that he lost his mama. So we never really know. I mean, that's just that's an extreme case, but like we never really know where somebody's head is at. And what was good last week could be expired by this week.
For sure.
Because of how they feeling. So it makes sense. It's a constant thing. Right?
It is. It just showed me how difficult communication can be, and you can assume somebody knows something. Right. But the reason why we're going through that is because we want to mean what we say and say what we mean. And like I told you before, I would say stuff to her and I didn't know it was playing a role on her. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, same thing last week and then this week is different.
Right.
And I said that I think if you tell me that I'm doing something to bother you, instead of saying, okay, it wasn't that serious, I know his intent, I need you to tell me what it is so that I can prevent from saying it again. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's more so like that. But I think that she took it in a certain type of way when I told her, and then she was like, say no more. And in my head, I'm like, she's telling me to shut up. And I'm like, but I told her that. And she said, I didn't mean it that way. And I said, I know, but I was already in my feelings. Right. And I was like, okay, now I need to be able to determine the person I'm talking to, their intent, and not let it affect my feelings. I can't control my emotions. I've worked on me so much that I still can't separate the way that I'm feeling because of my childhood.
It's hard. I mean, we're human, right? And we tend to internalize things when, even if they're just spoken in the vicinity of us, right? So, I mean, there's a whole lot of examples that I could give, but you get what I'm saying. But like, something can just be said around us and it affect how we are.
Change your whole mood.
Right. And so, I mean, I get it. But y'all been together for
maybe 13 years. In June.
And see, that just goes to prove for those that prove and show, like those listening, like the longevity isn't going to be something. I mean, obviously you would hope and think that the longer you're with somebody,
you learn to grow and learn each other.
But somebody could be together for 13 years and make very little progress at all.
For sure. And you know, we like to pride ourselves on how much we do know each other.
Right.
But now that we're working on the smaller pieces, we realize how much these smaller pieces have played on the larger pieces.
Something I want to speak to that later, but yeah, but okay, so 13 years, right? Like, I mean, that's congratulations. I know I've said it before on the show, but okay, so how about this? How did y'all meet? I want to hear the story. Let's go.
So I believe it's 20 yees. Yes, 20 years we've known each other.
Damn, you old. I mean, dang, wow, nice.
Yeah,
that came out wrong. Poor communication.
Hey, you know what? I'm evolving. So if you're not getting old, they say you're dead. So I'm still alive.
Say it like an old man. Okay, yeah, you're right.
Okay, so
how did y'all meet? Go ahead.
Actually, we met from a good friend of mine. He brought her and her best friend over. It was so crazy. It was random because I was actually interested in her friend, and because she had backyard boogie, her backside was poking out, and we all know the story. We talked about it and all, but she was interested in me. Okay. And like, what's so crazy is she went to Michigan State, and I had never seen her before in my life. And then she's from Lansing, and during that time, we used to talk bad about people from Lansing because we called them locals. They don't know how to act. They always want to fight. And it was like, wow, they have attractive women in Lansing? Wow. That's how we were. We was on that. We was crazy. But, you know, they were laughing. What's crazy about that is she told me, of course, like years later, she said, I told like my friend, I was like, you got a boyfriend. He goes to Michigan State. No. She would tell, I go to Michigan State. He's my territory. So you keep doing what you need. That's what my wife said then to her best friend because I was interested in her best friend. But I didn't know. So what's crazy is that this was the 30th of January in 2000, and we were supposed to go to Detroit, and they rode with us. So, and the friend that introduced us like, why don't you bring them down? We'll meet up. We didn't even meet up. But during that time, we got to talk and we got to chopping it up, right? So we decided that we were going to exchange information, but she didn't know who I was. And when I say didn't know who I was, the friend that introduced us, like we have all this big circle. So she got put into this circle of friends, and I used to mess with several women. And she was like, I'm not about to be messy. I can't be a part of this. Right. And so she didn't talk to me. She kind of just like, I don't get messy. But I saw her, it was around Valentine's Day. So I'm very arrogant at this point in my life, super arrogant. And she acted like she didn't know who I was. I was like, wow. So guess what I did? I took her shoe and ran. We in a party. And she was just like, hey. And I was like, I just deserve more attention than that. So I took one of her shoes off and ran. And you know what she told me? Like, she was so mad, like really mad. And to me, like everybody knew who I was, but she didn't. I was just like, she about to learn today. And ran.
Where did you go?
Oh, like I'm in a party.
Yeah, but where did you?
I don't know. So like,
so
she can't go
like,
that
you're
far.
like on the other side of the couch, like.
Oh no, this is a real party. We're in a place,
a club, like a warehouse.
No, it was a college party, but it was a real party, like in like a classroom with no seats. Now they removed everything. I don't know if you
like a high school dance. Or a junior, elementary school dance.
But these are college classrooms though, so they're really huge.
Right.
So it's just like all
auditorium
the stuff,
kind of.
Yeah, like an auditorium.
Gotcha.
And she can't chase me for real because she got one shoe on in a party. So it's it's a lot of people in there, and that is how we officially started talking for real. She was so mad at me.
Wait, so started talking because back in the day. When we used to say talking.
Oh, no, we weren't talking like that. Yeah,
like y'all wasn't together yet. Because, back in the day.
Oh, we were never together. And we didn't get together.
Okay.
Until like a couple years before we got married.
Ain't it funny though how like the slang changes when it comes to certain
talking,
things? Like,
we talking.
Me and a girl, we talking. Yeah. Like we together.
That means
like,
they're off limits.
Yeah. You can't. No, we talking.
Yeah, we talking.
Oh, y'all talking? Okay, that's it. This is like what y'all talking about. Like the people that's not in the know. What y'all talking about? I'm like, man, get out of here, square.
And you know what's funny that you said that, but when somebody's like they're making out, I never understood what that meant. Until like I was, oh yeah, exactly.
Oh, blur my mouth out.
Exactly. I was like, what does making out mean? Like, are they having sex?
You know where that came from.
Yeah, it just shows you the culture. Like, it's so different. Like, man, I heard you guys was making out.
I'm really gonna blur my mouth on that one. I'm really gonna go mark this time down. I can't. Okay, so if you didn't get introduced by way of your friend, like, would you? Okay, so like now, like, would you consider like alternate means of trying to find somebody, like online, the apps that they using,
then
speed dating? No, now, because back then that wasn't really that big of a thing.
Well, Black Planet
was not a dating site.
I used it as one.
Then you were misusing and you didn't read the terms and conditions, good sir. The shoe snatcher. That's what I'm putting your thing down as in the thing. I'm gonna put John D, the shoe snatcher. I'm putting it there. I definitely.
She's gonna love this episode.
Shoe snatcher. That's it.
Yes. Look, I'm telling you, she told me she was so mad. But yeah, now I think it's so easy to meet fake people. It's fun. I think it would be fun, but it's dangerous too, though, because.
I came across a potential catfish. I see because I stay up on it. Go ahead. I stay up on it.
Can I share this with you?
Please do. I want to. Is it embarrassing?
Well, no. It makes me feel like I'm kind of famous.
Okay.
So a friend of mine said, "John, what you doing on Tinder?" I said, "I ain't on Tinder." And he showed me a picture with me. And it was somebody named Tyler something.
Really?
No lie. I was like, I'm
took
that
a picture of you? I don't mean it like that. I'm sorry,
I don't even know how he got
But like somebody, it was a real picture of you or it just looked like you?
Oh, no, it was me.
Did they screenshot it from Diverse Clarity?
This was you stupid. This is like 4 years ago.
Was the logo in the...
You so stupid.
I'm just wondering if we got some free advertisement. I'm just saying. Like,
this was definitely before the best thing that happened to my professional career.
Wow.
But yeah,
this guy.
Yeah, I got catfished. Well, I was.
You're not catfished if somebody used your pictures.
Well, I'm a part of somebody used me as a catfish bait.
Yeah, but that's different.
I know. I just said I wanted to share that with you because I was like, the dude's name was Tyler though. But I've been catfished several times though. When like with Black Planet, MySpace, you was using the sites for the wrong thing. Oh no, I wasn't. I was using it just like any other young man that was interested in pretty women with a lot of followers or a lot of friends.
That's not what it was for.
Well, I used it for that. That's what I'm saying. So if I used it then, I would definitely take advantage of it today. What do you think about it?
I think it's a normal part of life. Honestly,
just the new norm.
I think it's really funny, right? Like people will talk about the online dating, and they'll say like, oh, it's crazy people online. Like this was funny to me, right? And like, would you try on, like, just talking to, would you try online dating? No, them folks is crazy on the internet. They do anything. They this and da da da. And it's like, in my mind, Mr. Logical, Mr. Think Outside the Boxist over here, I'm like, ain't the same people on the internet the same people that live in your neighborhood, that live in your city,
they go to your club,
that live in your state,
go to church,
that work at the grocery store? Ain't they the same people? So what's the difference? I mean, I think you probably are in a position where you can be more secure if you meet somebody online, at least in knowing who you're talking to.
Inshallah.
You get what I'm saying?
But if with the catfish thing is,
bruh, I'm all on that. We can do a whole episode about how to keep people from getting catfished. I'm your local neighborhood tech guru. All right, I got you.
Yes, we
can do a whole episode on this.
That would be great for that. I
would love to.
Yeah,
let's do it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do a whole episode. So if you're watching and you think that you're being catfished by somebody online,
or afraid to do this because you may be catfished,
yeah, I'll give you the tips and pointers and all of this stuff and how to check for this and check for that.
That would be a fun episode anyway.
Let's do it. Yeah. Let's do it. So if you're watching this and you're the person, or you know somebody, or you just want to see how it's gonna work out, I'm your guy. All right, and we're gonna do this. We're gonna tandem this up. But you ask the people, you're like, so would you date online? Would you do? They crazy. They're this. Oh no, I'm not messing with online. And I'm like, I don't understand.
How old are these people?
It doesn't random ages.
You don't think young people have already adapted to the new norm?
No, I think there's a lot of young people out there that are like, I'm not messing with it.
Do you think it's because what they were taught from people that's our age and older?
I don't know, because I mean I do. Like I found my person online. You know what I mean? But like, it's like, I look at it like, bruh, it's the same people, and you can be in a position that's much better because, for example, and I'm not saying that a lot of people will say, well, I don't go to the clubs, I don't go to the bars for this, but some people do. Mm-hmm. And if you go to a bar and you meet somebody at the bar and that person is drinking and you drinking or whatever the case, you're not really learning who that person is at the bar. They're not really learning who you are. You're not having these thought-provoking conversations with people at the bar. That's a plug. You're not having those conversations like that with the people at the bar, right? So it's like, you don't know who you with. And then you got the people, you want to come back to my place? And then now you're going back to the person's place, and whatever happens because you do what grown folks do or whatever. And then somebody's upset the next day, or I wish I wouldn't have done that or whatever. At least online, you can take your time.
You can do that. You
can actually get to know somebody if you want. With all the technology, I don't think there's a device that we hold in our hands nowadays, from keys to a laptop, that doesn't have a camera on it. You know what I'm saying? So you can take your time and get to know somebody. You can do video, whatever.
Actually, look them up if you want. I have a better chance.
Take time. Let me give me your Facebook. Give me your Instagram. Yeah. See the way that they're interacting and how they're doing things. And I'm not saying that that's a way to like actually get to know somebody, but you'll know a heck of a lot more doing something like that than you would just a random, I met somebody at the gas station and we're going to go have lunch tomorrow. Yeah. If you're really worried about crazies out there, come on.
You got to be, I get it.
You know what I'm saying? If you're really worried about crazies out there, you bumped into me at the gas station the other day. I saw you in the mall the other day. We exchanged numbers, and tomorrow we're going to go have lunch together.
That's your own fault.
Just the two of us?
Yeah.
What's more crazy? Or swiping on somebody that you like, or clicking on their profile and having a conversation, text messages, WhatsApp or whatever, right? Conversate like that, video chat, FaceTime, whatever you're doing. So nah, bro, I really don't see it as a bad thing. I just see it as an alternate way to meet some of the same people that are in the same place that you already live. And you save gas money, you save time.
In fact, you're going to converse with a person more online than you would in a club anyway. You know what I'm saying?
I think so. That's why I wouldn't even want to go to a club to meet somebody.
I think people that don't believe in online dating is because they believe they have a good sense of character when they meet somebody, when they first meet them.
I believe that, but I go beyond that. I can.
No, but I'm saying the people that don't like it, they feel like, I would have guessed that he was a little crazy if I would have met him, but online they could disguise all of this. And I'm like,
nah, they both.
That's what I'm saying. It's an ego and pride thing.
Yeah, they whatever. So, but I thought you were going to say some people who are against it probably had maybe something happen. You know what I'm saying? Like a negative, whatever.
Well, I'm sure there's those people also. I'm just talking about people that just nothing happened and they just automatically got this idea that this is a bad way of meeting people.
One time I almost got catfish.
How do you almost get catfish?
I almost got catfish. So I remember, okay. I haven't told this story in a long time, bro. But so I went on. It was when I used Tinder for the very first time, and it was in 2015. Never forget. And went on and swiped on somebody. We matched or whatever, right? And we started having a conversation, and it was just via WhatsApp at the time, right? And so she wasn't using Signal, so she wasn't using Signal. So we started talking on WhatsApp, and we hadn't talked on the phone yet, right? And I forget like the exact like the layout of the days, but like it might have been like we started talking on say like a Sunday. The next weekend that was coming was going to be a long weekend, right? And so we're talking Sunday, Monday, whatever. We hadn't talked on the phone. It was just text message, right? Monday, whatever, maybe Tuesday. And then I said, well, why don't we meet up this weekend? And she says, I would love to, but I'm going to Rosselheimer, I think it was, for a wedding, right? Says I'm going there for a wedding. But since it's a long weekend, she was like, everything will be done. We're going on Thursday, and I think she was coming back Friday night or Saturday morning or something. But I think everybody was off on Sunday. It was a holiday, right? And so she was like, how about we meet on that Saturday? I'm like, all right, yeah, that's fine. Okay, we can do that. Like, where would you where you want to go or whatever. And I don't remember these pieces of the conversation really like that, but it was a conversation about where you want to go. And then in the end, it came to, she was like, well, how about this? I'll just cook for you. I'll make lunch. You come by, whatever, in the daytime. That way, it's light, and if you don't know how to get here, whatever, it's not dark. And I was like, all right, it's okay. All right, yeah, we can do that. So there was a family that I know that was leaving the UAE. It's so funny because I don't even think I told them this, but Alexandra and her husband and their children, which they are amazing, but if they're watching, so shout out to y'all. But they were getting ready to leave the UAE. And I went to go meet with them to go have coffee. And, they're a very nice couple, right? The whole family. I love them. And the wife is always like, why are you single? Why are you single? Why are you single? And I told her, I said, well, I did meet somebody online and we're going to meet this weekend. And she's like, oh, that's great. That's great. And she's like, show me some pictures. So I pop out the picture. So she's like, oh, she's beautiful. She's there. She's that, whatever. The husband, so I was like, okay. And she looked at me. She just made a joke. And she was just like, just make sure she's not a catfish. Like, she's very pretty. And I'm like, yeah, no. She's fine. Because whatever. So I go home and now that's in my mind. And I'm like, oh, man, this is.
So you didn't even consider?
Nah, because it didn't. It just didn't. It didn't seem, that way.
Were the pictures real?
Well, okay, I'm gonna tell you. So we had a conversation that day, later that day, right? Because it's early afternoon, right? We had a conversation later that day, and I told her, I said, yeah, let's talk on the phone. I'm trying to, whatever. And she told me, she says, when I get home from work, I'll message you and I'll explain to you before we talk on the phone, or she says, or before I answer you, something like that. And she's like, I got to tell you something first. And I was like, oh. And so the job that she said that she did was she worked with deaf children. She does, sign language and whatnot. And I was like, okay. And so what she told me when we talked when we talked later that day, she said, well, the reason that I've been so hesitant to talk to you on the phone is because I'm a mute. Right? You get me?
A mute is the person that can't talk, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right. So I was like, but I didn't really know fully what that meant, right? So I'm like going online while I'm talking to her, like, and then I realized, like, oh. And so she's like, and that's why I teach sign language and, this and this, because this is, in my wheelhouse, right? So I was just like, wow. But me, I was just like, all right, well, hey, I guess we'll figure it out. Like, this was me. So me, my little black ass going on YouTube, looking up sign language, trying to learn how to make, whatever, at least like say hello and these things. So this is what I'm trying to do. So, but I'm still thinking to myself, like, it's stuck in my mind when Alexandra said about the whole, make sure she's not a catfish. So I'm like, I take the pictures and I'm doing a reverse search for the pictures. I can't find anything. Nothing's matching, right? While they're driving to Rock, she sends a video. And it's a video of her and two of her friends in the car, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, it's real. It looks just like the woman in the pictures.
Yeah.
This is it. Okay. And then she sent some more pictures. And she's like, we got dinner rehearsal tonight, whatever. We'll talk later. It's like, okay. So I'm feeling a little bit better.
I would too.
And I'm looking at these pictures. But still the skeptical me, the Mr. Think Outside the Boxes, is scanning these pictures. And I'm like, all right. So I'm going through. I got to the very last picture. And you know how the women take a picture and it's like when they're laying down, they're wearing their bikini, right? They're laying like on a towel or on the beach chair and it's, laid out. And they take a picture from the top. Uh-huh. And so you just see like maybe the middle of the chest and you see the feet and the stomach and all that. Yeah. And you see the ocean out. One of those kind of pictures. When I did that picture, it came back as Heidi Klum. And I'm like, the one picture that doesn't have her face, like why would she even send that? It didn't even make sense to me. That's what I was thinking. And so then I started doing more research and I found out another way to do some things when it came to like the video, right? Found out it's a fake profile, right? And now I'm good at this. And now I'm digging. I'm going and I'm like, boom, boom. Cause there was an email exchange. Now I'm looking up the email address. Now I'm finding things attached to the email. I was like, yo, it's a catfish. It really is. So I sent a message, right? Like, hey, whatever, let's chat. Oh, I'm free now. We've got a break for a couple of hours. Great. And I just came flat out with it. So when were you going to tell me that you were using somebody else's pictures to communicate with me? What's that about? Blocked on WhatsApp. The Tinder profile got deleted. It was all instant. It was just like shit started just disappearing. And that was it. Almost got catfish. Come for me. Wow. Almost got catfish. So yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
Right. I can't think of the young lady name. She's I think our age. She's fine. She's been in a lot of rap videos, right? I can't believe I can't remember her name, but a friend of mine was on this app and he was like, look at this chick. I've been talking to this chick, right? But I know who this picture is. And I was like, that's probably not her. He was like, why you say that? Cause I was like, cause I know who she is. He was like, you don't know her. I was like, everybody in the world knows who she is. He was like, and I was like,
who is this?
I can't think of her name. But she's fine. She's beautiful. She does not look her age. And I don't want to give her a shout out anyway.
Lisa Ray?
No. I've met her before.
Lisa Ray don't do videos though.
No, but I'm saying somebody stole this young lady's picture, right? And I was like, that's not her. And I was like, dude, you don't know who she is. And I showed him, I was like, look, she's been in all these videos. And he was like, dang, he said, well, I'm going to still go see her. He really went to go see her. He was like, he came back and was like, you were absolutely right. It wasn't her.
This was here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Little John. What?
Oh my gosh. Oh my, look. Oh, what's so crazy though? Like,
wow.
Even after I told him it wasn't her, he was like, I still want to go see her. And he was like,
this is how people get caught up in the TV show Catfish. Oh, do you watch Catfish?
I've only seen one episode. You know why?
Bruh.
There was a friend of mine was on there. He's in the rap group Nappy Roots. Prophet. We went to high school together.
I saw the episode when he was on there.
Yeah, we went to high school together.
Wait,
that's the only reason I saw
it. He wasn't Catfish. He was one of the guests.
No, well, because they brought him back after he got Catfish.
Okay.
He was talking to her, and guess what?
Yes, I seen that episode.
Yep.
Tell him I laughed at him a lot. I laughed hard.
Like he was.
Yes.
Because she was trying to be an actual model, but she was famous too. But he didn't look it up just like you did. And the girl ended up being a Caucasian, overweight girl. And she was unattractive.
I saw that.
And they really got in a really good relationship online. He was like, man, she was telling me everything I wanted to hear. And
I recently saw that one.
It's an old episode too.
Because I go back. I go back and I just put it on. Like when I'm doing graphics and video and stuff. Yeah. That's the stuff that I put on.
That's the only episode I've ever seen because of him.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did see that.
That's crazy. But I feel bad because you know what? You really build a relationship with somebody you can really do that.
Did you see, this wasn't on Catfish, but did you see when they, the girl that was in Canada, Catfish, Birdman, basketball player? What's his name?
I know who you're talking
Chris,
you know what's so crazy?
He played with Miami when LeBron and them won.
I know who you're talking about.
When LeBron took his talents to South Beach. And LeBron got hurt, by the way.
I saw
that.
Oh, of course.
Against the Hawks. I was just like, ooh.
No.
Yes, he was playing against the Hawks. No. Yes, I just saw the thing. Yeah.
Was it?
Positive.
I saw him. I was watching the game, but I don't think it was the Hawks.
Yeah, if you watching the TV, he got hurt on the
it was Rajon Rondo. Rajon Rondo. Yeah, it was the Hawks.
Yeah, he fell into his head fell into his
his ankle. He hurt his ankle.
Yeah, but the Hawk player, his head fell into like that, and it went.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I watched it yesterday. I was just like, I meant to tell you about it, but yeah.
I want you to know, like everybody else to know, like I love basketball and filming. When he gets a brain fart, I cannot think because. So now, like, I know these answers to these. When you say like Birdman, like what's his name? And
I think it's Chris Johnson. I think is his name.
No, it's not.
Chris Anderson. That's his name. Positive. Chris Anderson.
But this is the thing, like,
Chris Anderson.
I'm supposed to know that. That's my wheelhouse.
Oh.
Yes, I'm feeling that way. And I had to let everybody know because I know my friends were like, bro, you didn't know Birdman's name. I'm like, God.
Oh wow. Well, I could have slipped it to you and we could have pretended that you said it.
You ain't shoot. You ain't shoot.
Wow. But yeah, so Chris Anderson, and it was a girl that was in Canada, and then it was this young girl. She had to be like 16, I think. And the girl that was in Canada was pretending to be a friend that she made up that said that the friend was a friend of Chris Anderson. And that friend was also talking to the girl. So what happened was this girl in Canada was playing puppet. She was like, or the puppeteer, right? The one that control him, right? Puppeteer. So she's the puppeteer. So you've got Chris Anderson on one side, you got this young girl on the other side. In her state, she's of age, whatever it was, right? She's of age in her state. But Chris Anderson on the other, and then she's made up a character in the middle, and she's being that character, and she's acting like Chris is sending messages thinking it's going to the girl. The girl is receiving the messages, changing them a little bit, sending them to the girl, and vice versa. What the other one is sending.
So they're playing this.
No, this one girl is playing everybody.
So she made up this.
Bruh, I'm telling you, like this wasn't even on Catfish. This was in the news.
Wow.
This is when Chris Anderson got kicked off the Nuggets, and and that's why he got picked up by Miami later because he came clean. It wasn't. He didn't do anything wrong.
I didn't know the details of that story.
They was blackmailing him. That's if it was all in the news. See, the thing was, I'm an avid basketball fan, right? But I'm seeing all of this in the news, like Chris Anderson and this, and child pornography, blah blah blah, this and this, and I'm like, dang, Chris, really? Like, wow. But I had no idea that this story was going on. While I'm a big fan of Catfish, I had no idea that this story was in the news about this girl in Canada. And bro, it was a big deal. She ended up doing like she was trying to extort money from them, extort money from the lawyer was going to pay. Chris Anderson's lawyer was going to pay because she was like, because she had pictures. It's because even though the girl was legal in her state, in some states she's a minor.
For sure. Right?
And so there was some sexual pictures that were sent. This girl had possession of them. She was distributing them to Chris. You get what I'm saying? So it was a big deal, bro. And this girl, and she was like no remorse for Chris. Like I remember watching the interview, and
did she go to jail?
She went to jail for 18 months in Canada. But whatever state that was that the girl was in, the U.S. is still trying to like extradite her because they want her to do like 20 something years. Ooh. It's a big deal because it was like with money, child pornography. It was like 4 counts of something. I haven't seen it in a while, but it was a big deal, bro. Like, yo, it's serious. Wow. Like it is serious. So like that stuff is kind of crazy. Like I don't understand how, and it's so funny because the girl, when she was talking, right, she said, I met, she actually went to go meet Chris. They met face to face because Chris thinking he talking to her, she thinking she's talking to him. But the girl in the middle that's like altering the messages, she's like saying some things to the girl, but not saying it to Chris, and vice versa. So the girl was saying that when she and Chris sat together, Chris said to her something like, so when is your trip to Africa? And she's like, silly, I'm not going to Africa. What are you talking about? He was like, no, really, I thought you were going to Africa. And she's like, no. But she's saying in her interview, like, I just thought he was maybe, what you thought. He was probably talking to some other girl and got the stories mixed up.
For sure.
But she was with Chris Anderson, an NBA basketball player, and was just probably like, that's okay. You know what I mean?
Of course, yeah.
So it's whatever. But yo, it's crazy, bro. Imagine.
No, I don't.
Hey.
I don't want to. You know what? That makes it even more dangerous than meeting somebody to me. Because you can, like when you meet somebody in person, of course, they could be younger or whatnot. But online, you don't know for sure.
This is why you got to confirm stuff, bro.
Well, like how do you do that?
Video chat for one.
No, but I'm saying like even like,
hey, bro, there's ways of like, you know what I'm saying?
I get it.
Like for example, I mean, I don't drink, but if I thought, I mean, I wouldn't be. I mean,
you know how many young people drink?
I'm in a committed relationship. I'm happy, but if I was out there, right, it's like I wouldn't be messing with somebody that's like right on the edge and maybe not being able to drink. Well, I'm gonna do that.
Well, that's you. I'm just saying, as far as anybody being cat. What if you're 22?
Right, but here's the thing: take that person somewhere where you can drink. You got to show your ID. Oh. There's ways to think about this stuff, bro. You got to be smarter than the average bear. Like you can't. So it's like if you think she might be lying and she might not be 21, okay, we're gonna go somewhere and we're gonna have a drink. She don't want to drink. Now I'm gonna pose the question. She can get a drink. She got to show her ID. If she got a fake ID, I'm fooled by it just like the restaurant was. What if she says,
I don't drink?
Then that's why I said it poses the question. I'm gonna ask the question straight out. But I'm that direct anyway. We probably wouldn't even have to go to have a drink.
I was about to say it probably won't even go that far
because I'm Mr.
Like, how old are you?
For real? Let me see your ID.
Yes, please.
Let me see your ID. Man, like why the edges bent on this one? Your lamination is messed up.
But like that's what makes it dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. But you have to think about your surroundings, right? So, for example, we're in the UAE, right? Think about it. You can't be in the UAE not working, right? Unless you're a dependent of someone. Mm-hmm. Okay. So,
or illegal. Like
what you mean?
Oh,
like how like some of the Africans come over here and other countries and whatnot.
Call out a continent like that? What? How anybody can come over here?
I'm just saying like specifics.
Like I've just seen called out an entire continent?
African, Eastern European, and other countries, continents.
That sounds a lot. It sounds a lot better when you can just group, like when you just, you know what I'm saying.
I'm just telling the truth.
I've met several.
Facts are facts.
But
facts are facts.
Other parts of the world come here too.
Many people come here from different continents and countries.
For sure. I just didn't want Africa to be.
It's so sad that some of them are on that list, but they are. And it's one of the more, let's be real, bro. It's one where you see a larger majority of. There's a heavy population. This is a country, let's be honest, this is a country that will recognize such things. And they will go through random blocks of visas for certain countries for unannounced a period of time.
Oh, I don't know that. I don't know.
Yeah, there are sometimes they'll say like, I'm not even gonna say, but they'll say like, this country, sorry, we're not accepting visas. We're not issuing visas for people from this country.
Oh, well, the United States do that too.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. But there's a recognition of that because of this thing. You get what I'm saying?
I do.
So, but
oh, now I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So like they'll say, oh, we got a whole lot of people coming from this particular country. We're recognizing this. We're working on trying to push and weed through the ones. So for the moment, nobody's coming from this country.
I got you.
Like they'll do that here, right? So, but what I was saying is like, you have your area where you're located. So you can think about the laws of where you are to like try to consider. One thing that I did notice, because I did some swiping on Tinder. I mean, that's how I found, who I'm with. I use Tinder. I don't think it's a problem. But
it's not a problem.
It's not at all, right? But I did some swiping and I learned to like ask questions the right way. And I'm gonna tell you, sometimes people will say like, oh, so, you get to the question, the regular questions, right? And it's like, well, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm not working right now. Oh, really? Wow. Okay. So like you're here on vacation then? No. I'm here. Or they'll say, yeah, I'm here on vacation or whatever. I'm looking for work. And it's like, oh, okay. How long you been here? And I'll say 2 months. You've been here for 2 months. One of the most expensive countries in the world. You ain't got no job. I'm not counting your pockets, but I'm looking at possibly where you're from. I got a hard time being here for a month and I get a check. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's expensive to be here. So that sets off the thing. Like, wait a minute. And then you can tell, like, so many times you ask the question.
You know, like the way that you internalize things is remarkable too. Like, I just like, most men don't think like that.
Yeah, bro. But I mean, but think about it, right? You can only be here for a maximum of 3 months before you like have to make some kind of change, right? Like they can come on like a tourist visa.
No, you can just go to Oman and come back in.
Not every country can do that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. And this is why I said a specific country in the beginning, because that is relevant to what I'm talking about. You see what I'm saying? Because yes, as an American, you can. As a person from certain countries, let's just say, you can go across the border, but Oman and Bahrain are not places that you can go to. There's a place like near Iraq where they can go, and it's like specifically for that.
them.
And right, so for people from certain countries, everybody's not able to just do this border run like we are.
That.
Right, and this is what I'm saying. So a lot of people will come from certain countries, right, certain continents, and when they come, they might come with like a tourist visa from like an agency. And an agency can get you a 90-day off the bat.
Okay.
So when you talk to somebody and you swiping, right? Now you're like, okay, well, how long you been? Oh, 2 months. Yeah, I'm just on vacation. I'm staying with friends. Red flag. Red flag.
It could be the truth, but it's most likely
It could be the truth, but the odds are.
You have to look at it as a red flag.
Think of it like this. Do you go anywhere that's this freaking expensive, the UAE, for 2 months and you ain't got no job?
I don't know how to do that.
But you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that, to me, that's just like a, what? If I didn't have a job, vacation is the last thing that's on my mind.
But see, I'm going to tell you why you're the difference between you and a lot of other people, such as myself.
Okay.
You've been abroad for so long, you have a different mentality. So when I came here, just listening to the stories, it's easy for it to get caught up because we're thinking in a United States mentality. Like we don't know the significance of how the country actually operates because we're new.
Like visas and access and things like this, right?
I just learned when you just said all countries can't go. I just learned that now.
That whole border thing, yeah, no,
that's what I'm saying. Right. So you've been abroad so long that you have certain things that you've picked up along your way that like, okay, you can't do this.
Right.
So in my mind, I'm like, I've done this before.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. It's one of those things. So that list changes. And this is what I mean when I say like knowing your surroundings, right? And that helps you to make a decision about, you talking about the age thing, right? And where I was going with that is I'm saying like, well, you either have to have a job to be here or you're a dependent of somebody that has a job here. If you're not somebody that's on vacation, right? So if we're looking at the whole vacation part, well, there's ways that you can rule that out. Right. But if you're really looking for a relationship, do you really want somebody that's here on vacation? I'm just saying. So there's other things, whatever. So if we're talking about somebody that actually lives here, they either got to be working or they're a dependent of somebody that's working.
You're right.
And if they're a dependent of somebody that's working, then how old are their parents? Like, let's do, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's do some, whatever. And if it's not their parents, then they're married.
It's very rare occasions where you're going to run into somebody to actually fit that category and be correct.
I've seen one. I mean, and I'm not even saying that I can't give you like hundreds of.
I know, but I'm
like
saying
that. But in just here and there and da, I've seen one. Right. So it's just like, wow. So all I'm saying is you have to think about like where you are in the world when you're looking at trying to meet somebody online and consider everything that's going on and like base your questions off of that. Women ask questions. They're some of the most inquisitive creatures on the face of this earth. You ask questions all the time that are like pinpoint. They're going to give you ideas about this and idea about that. You know how many times I've been asked like, are you married? Like women here, it's just direct. Why? Because there's so many people here that like to go through and just come here and like pretend this is like a second life for them. You know what I mean? I'll tell you something about somebody I knew in when I was living in Dubai. But they like to pretend this is like a second life for them. So they come here. So it can be offensive for somebody who was being straightforward, right? But for a woman to just be like, so are you married? Like, how many kids you got? Like, is your family here? This and this. And it's like, whoa, wow. Like, I'm not that guy. But they're asking those questions. They're being this direct because this is what they've experienced. Yeah. So it's not like, in fairness, I don't want to make it try to seem like in those days of dating, I was trying to put somebody in a box. Or if I tried online dating, I was trying to put somebody in a box. But you got to think about what you're dealing with.
You're right. That's what I'm saying. Like, but
right.
I would have never.
And it's bad because there's a stereotype. I'm sorry, but it's bad because there's a stereotype that's associated with that. But we also see this stereotype when we go park certain places, and then there's business cards that are being stuck inside of our windows on our cars. You know what I'm saying? So
I love those business cards.
You stupid. But I'm just saying. So it's like, but it's just one of the things, right? It's just what it is, and people have an idea of that type of lifestyle that's being led here. And I'm not knocking, I'm not judging. I'm just saying it's a reality. It's a fact of life. And if that's not a route that you want to go, you might want to make changes, make considerations, alterations, whatever, to how you go about your business, because you could potentially run up on that. And if it's not what you're looking for, it's not what you're looking for. So better educate yourself. The more you know, the more you grow and all that good stuff. And
I can dig it though.
But yeah, man. But bruh, when I say about like second life, I remember where I was staying at in Dubai, my apartment, my door was like directly across from my neighbor. It was a French guy. He was a chef. And this is at the time when I was playing ball and I ruptured my Achilles. And so I was home. I couldn't do anything. And I didn't know anybody in Dubai. I had just moved there from Abu Dhabi. And I was just like, man, this is crazy. And I knew the security guards there and everything, right? So they were really good with me. Like, I would leave my door open, and like when I would order food, whatever, the security guard would actually bring it up. Oh, that's nice. I leave my door unlocked, and he would like come in and he would sit it on the thing for me, and I give him a few dirhams or whatever, appreciate it. Like this, so I had a good relationship with the security people there. And so one day, like I opened up my door, I saw this girl running out. She had on like little shirt, really no panties, with it, just running to the trash can. And it's just like,
hold up, what?
Yeah.
Hold up. No, repeat what you just said.
Yeah, you could tell. Exactly what I just said. Really, no, but you could tell.
You recognized that?
You could tell. No, I mean, I open up the door and then I see she go down to the trash thing, throw the thing out, come back. And you could tell. And she's like, good morning, whatever. And I noticed like over the next couple of weeks, this French guy had a whole lot of different women coming through. No problem. Hey, man, do your thing, right? I'm not, whatever. And so one day, I'm getting ready to leave. And when I open up my door, I'm hobbling. I'm on crutches and whatever. So I'm just going for a walk. I don't even know what you call it when you're on crutches. What do you call it when you're on crutches? It's not a stroll. Definitely not. I'm going out for a lean and kick.
That's it.
I'm going out for a lean and kick, right? So we're going to hashtag that lean and kick. So I'm going out for a lean and kick. And when I open up my door, like I said, his door was right across from mine. And when the movers come, like they got the stuff all down the hallway. Yeah. And all you hear is the tape and everything, all the boxes being folded and whatever and this and this. And when I open up the door, I see a lady sitting on the box, and there's like a little kid playing with a little car on the floor. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, like that. And the little kid waves and the lady waves or whatever. And I can just hear the noise of everything else going on in the apartment. And I'm going on my lean and kick, whatever. I get down the hall. So I get to the elevator, get down. I see my security guy, whatever. So whatever, I lean and kick towards him, get over, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? How's your day? He's like, oh, it's good. I said, looks like my neighbor's moving out. He's like, yeah. He's like, but he's only going to another building. He's getting a 2-bedroom apartment. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, wow. And he was like, yeah. And the security guard like, bruh, he like looked at me. He was like, yeah. I'm like, what? He was like, he's getting a bigger apartment. I'm like, okay, yeah. And he said, mm-hmm. I said, is that his wife? And he was like, yeah. I was like, oh. So what happened was this French dude was getting it in all across the board, right? While his wife was back in Europe somewhere. And now she's moved to the UAE. So he's got to upgrade the apartment to get a bigger space. And I was just like, wow. And this is what I mean by second life. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, wow. And that's why women will ask such questions. Yeah. Are you single? Are you this? Da-da-da. Do you have kids? Are they here with you? And people who are not doing that or have gone away from doing that or whatever the situation is, they might take offense to that because
Got
it's like,
you.
yo, I'm not even thinking like that.
I didn't even think about that either.
But and it's like one of those things where you kind of just got to understand because that's what they've been subject to.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
I do.
And it's like you gotta really anyway. But yeah, man, that's But I think the online thing is fine. I think that it's a great option for dating. I think that the more that we open ourselves up to, whatever, but not you, me, but the way that people open themselves up to dating is you have a better opportunity of finding somebody. And
all of it needs research at the end of the day. Like, do your due diligence.
Exactly. You could work with somebody for 5 years straight. You know what I mean? Work on projects with them or whatever, and then decide that you're going to date. And then turns out he keeps skulls in a glass jar in his apartment or whatever. So, you know what I mean? Like, who knows, bro? It is what it is. So, but yeah, I do want to do that. So like we said earlier in the show, I want to help somebody who is trying to get to know somebody, and maybe if they got some questions and they want to try to research the person.
Well,
our own little.
Everybody should have a book of tactics to identify the person that they're dealing with anyway. So I think, like, again,
a book of tactics.
You have a book of tactics to be able to
about a book. I just know. It's just regular stuff where I'm just like,
yeah, I guess.
I don't know. I look at it like common sense, kinda.
Well, but see, that's what I'm saying. Your common sense is common to you.
Okay, like in what regard? Like, give me an example.
Like just what you said, that everybody can't go to Oman. I can almost guarantee majority of the Americans that come here who have done border runs think that everybody can do that. Oh. So it's common to you. It wouldn't be common to us, because why would we think that other countries can't do that?
Right. Okay, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
Because I mean, like,
okay,
I just learned that today. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, when we brought our nephew here, we used to do border runs, and I just automatically assume, like,
right,
if you don't have a visa, you can just do that to get back in the country.
Yeah, no, not everybody.
Apparently.
Okay, touche. But yeah, man. So anybody out there looking for love, my advice is don't limit yourself. There's nothing wrong with like online dating or
just
whatever.
Do your diligence.
And you're never gonna know, man. Like, you might find your perfect woman, your perfect woman.
Definitely.
Yeah. And what do you think a perfect woman is? Like, what do you think that looks like? If there's such a thing.
To be honest, it's just what you can see beyond a couple of years. Like, I think most of the time it's the superficial aspect. You know, you want somebody that looks good and work out, they can cook, they can deal with this. But I think my wife was a blessing. When I say that, like, she's the ultimate compliment that I always wanted. So I was talking to a lot of people at one point. And the thing that I loved about my wife is that she had the characteristics that I wanted in a woman. I just wasn't ready to do all of that then. But what I needed was somebody who was going to make me look good when I look bad. You know, like, I'm obnoxious. I can't have a woman that's obnoxious. You know, it's like she was my ultimate compliment. So when I looked in the future, I know this is superficial, but my father told me to look at their mama. That's what they're going to look like when they get older. And her mama fine. So I looked at that. But my wife was polished at 22. 21, 22. Like, when I met her, I'm like, she spoke well. She was articulate. She didn't lose her cool. And dealing with me, she adjusted and adapted to my behaviors really quick. And I didn't appreciate it as much until I started to reflect that I know that a lot of women wouldn't have been able to deal with that. And she wanted to help people. She was goal oriented. And I can just say that she let me lead, and she believed in me. I'm not saying other women couldn't, but the things that I know that I would have got into it about different things with other women, she kind of just stayed back and just watched me move. And then she would say, hey, you should consider this. She didn't, like, even when I embarrassed her in public, like other people would say like, dang, he's crazy. She wouldn't lose her cool. And even in behind the scenes, she would be like, you know, I really didn't feel good when you said this. But I wasn't doing it maliciously.
Right.
But she didn't take time to embarrass me in public. Right. Even though my intent wasn't to embarrass her, but she was embarrassed. Like, but if I felt like she was trying to embarrass me, I would get loud, and she wouldn't get louder. She would just go down, and she would talk to me later. So I felt like the perfect woman for me was a person that knew how to handle me when I didn't even know I was being handled.
Wow.
Yeah, she's dope. What about you?
I don't know. I've never had a list of anything, right? You know, like some people when they talk about like the ideal this and the perfect this one, I don't think a perfect exists in a way where everybody's going to understand it, because your perfect is not my perfect, and you know, whatever, theirs is not yours and mine, or however you want to look at it. But I think for me, it's more about the full package, and being introduced to especially things that you've never experienced before. Like, I don't think I could accurately, even at my age, give a list of what's perfect, right? Because let's say I've never had a woman bake for me, right? Mm-hmm. Let's just say in my time of dating and relationships, I've never had a woman bake for me. I don't know what that's like, right? Then maybe once I experience that, I'm like, yo, that's not something I want to ever be without again. That might be a part of this imaginary package of, you get what I'm saying? And no, I don't mean baking, but you get what I mean. Just an
example. Yeah.
Anything, right? And it's just like, I never had any, bro, you know, my girl baked some cookies for me the other day. I ain't never had nobody bake. I mean, I usually have to go to Krispy Kreme or the local bakery to, you know, but she baked some cookies and it smells so good. I don't know how we're going to be, but I know whatever's next, she better be able to bake. She got to be able to bake, fam. Period. Like, I don't care. You know what? Fudge, brownie, chocolate chip, sugar cookies, whatever.
I didn't think of that's a valid point though. And look, you just taught me something else.
What did I teach you? Like about cookies?
No, I'm saying like, the things that I wanted was to just compliment me so we could grow together, right?
Right.
But I wasn't dating other people to see what I liked. But if you date people and they introduce you to things that you didn't know, you can say like, I need this in my life if this don't. Right. I didn't look at it like that.
I mean, because it's always going to be a trade-off, right? Yeah. And I hate to say it in that way, a trade-off, because then it sounds like a business acquisition. Right?
It is though.
But I don't mean it in that way, because these are matters of the heart, right? But what I mean is like, well, I mean, if it's going to be a meaningful thing, it must be.
It can develop into that. It doesn't have to start out. But
it's still going to end up being a matter of the heart, because you're talking about your emotions, your love involved, and how you're going to be with this person, and how long you're going to be with this person. If your heart's not involved, it's a business acquisition. Sign here.
That's what I'm saying. I don't have a problem with that.
Right. But I mean, my heart has to be involved.
I know,
I have to love, and I have to appreciate, and I have to feel like it's more than just sign here.
But see, that's what I don't look at emotions being, I think emotions is a plus. Because people can fall in love, but if you fall out of it, is it worth staying in a relationship? Well,
I think that gets into what we talked about the other day when we talking about the meaning of words, right? Because if we're talking about love, like there's different levels of love.
You never heard somebody say, "Oh, I will always love him," but it just didn't work because that feeling was gone.
Right, but this is what I'm saying. There's different levels of love, right? You got somebody that says that they love you. And I would say we got somebody that's in love with you. Mm-hmm. You've got unconditional love. And then
I just learned about that.
Okay. So I don't and I don't know what unconditional love looks like for everyone. I don't know what I will always love you looks like for everyone. You get what I'm saying?
I do.
Because I will always love you in the mind of someone that's saying it could mean no matter how bad you fuck up,
I love you.
We gonna be together and I'm gonna love you. We're gonna work through it.
Oh, that's unconditional to me.
But what I'm saying is this might be what somebody says, and this is what they may mean when they say I will always love you. They may not even use the word unconditional, Do you get what I'm saying? And then you may hear that and be like, if somebody says to you, I will always love you, because they did not say unconditional, you might not realize that they mean unconditional.
Gotcha.
Because I will always love you could mean I'm gonna love you, I'm gonna be with you. My heart's there's always gonna be a space for you in my heart. You may fuck up and I may leave you, but when I leave, I'll always love you.
I got you.
But you get what I'm saying?
I do.
So then this is why I say these things have to be defined, fam.
I told you, like, I love everybody, right?
No, you let me stop.
I do.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, the wife, she doesn't like that because I haven't been able to articulate it in a way to separate her from people because of what you just said, the power of words. And when I say I love people, I want the best for them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I need to say that more so that she doesn't feel like she's in this box with everybody else, because the things that I do for my wife, nobody will be able to get that from me. But if I don't say it, it looks like she's in this box.
Right.
So like you said, like, I get it, and I'm still working on it.
Thanks. But yo, man. But yeah, so it doesn't, I would just say this about the unconditional, just to answer for me. I don't know what that looks like, or not unconditional, I'm sorry, but the perfect woman. I don't know what that looks like, because
What does that look like for you now?
it looks like what I have.
Okay.
So
what does that look like? Because I don't know what now is.
And it's it's what is what I have now, and there's the potential for growth and the potential for more partnerships in the relationship and learning things and being open to more things and the person being the same. Yeah. So like if it looks like it's gonna be stagnant,
gotta go. You can't waste your time.
Right. And you know how I feel.
Yeah.
We know. So, but
Shed that shit off.
I have no problem shedding dead skin. So I'll say that all day. But that's what it is. But for me, I remember being asked one time, and the question that was posed was, do you feel like if you woke up tomorrow and she wasn't there, that you'd be happy to move on without it? And I think that's a question that people should ask, especially when they're looking at like things happening in a relationship and like you feel like you might want to leave. You know what I mean? And that's something that I've grown into. I don't think that's the only question, but I think that that's an important one. If I woke up tomorrow and she was not there, how would I feel in moving on without her? Is it worth going backwards to try to make sure, you know what I'm saying, we fix this? And
that's a maturity question.
That's why I said I've grown into that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's not something that I've asked myself, like, come on, you know, like, but I've grown into that. And that's putting your ego to the side.
For sure. But you gotta, that's what I said, like the time aspect, the maturity, because nobody teach you that.
Right.
Well, they didn't teach me that.
No, nobody teaches you that, because a lot of people don't even know it. They don't even know what to teach you.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, but I can teach my experiences to my kids now, because I have a better idea of what you're saying, because I was blind. Like in the last 3 years is when I learned what unconditional love was.
Right.
Like I used to tell my wife, I was like, you know, I didn't marry a woman that's overweight, or when I was young, I was like, everything you did to get me, you need to do that later. And I was like, I won't deal with that. And it took me so long to figure out that I was so limited because nobody taught me. And then as time went on and I started to open my mind, I'm like, if my wife left, like I would be okay, but I wouldn't be okay, because now I'm stagnant, because I don't think another woman could compliment me the way that she has. So I would do any and everything I can to keep this woman. And that's how I feel. Like, I didn't think I could ever get to that.
Right.
I loved her, and I loved her more than I ever loved any woman in my life. But where I am now, it's a different type of tranquility that I didn't think I could get to.
And that's a beautiful place to be in, man. So, but listen, do you have any last minute words for everybody? Or you want to, relationships and online dating? And
I'll say this. My life has changed so much, and I realized that the only reason why I was changed because I really believed the way that I was taught was wrong, and I was open-minded to grow. If you bring anything from your childhood with you, it's probably wrong, or it could be improved. So just be open to grow, and the relationship will grow. So as far as online dating, do what makes you happy. Don't worry about anybody else, because I'm telling you, you can find relationships wherever you want to find them. And if you are afraid of learning new things, you're cheating yourself.
Right. I would just say with that piece, like, stay away from the hypocrisy, because I think what happens is a lot of people will go to online dating with an idea of, I'm not going to find anybody here. And they make the assumption that everybody there is out for games or play or whatever the case is. Mirror check. If you're here and you're not about games, it's quite possible that somebody else is there and they're not about games. So stop the hypocrisy. You know what I'm saying?
But I don't think they know they're doing it. But look, I'm telling, reason why I said that,
right? When
you just said that, I was like, oh, I didn't think about that. So when you made that face, you made it seem like that's common knowledge. That it's not common.
I mean, but I think that any human being knows that they're not the only one doing something.
I know, but they may think like, I don't even, like, they think all the people that think like them wouldn't do that.
So guess what? That's a narcissist then. Well, because but think about it. If you go on an app that has millions of users and you think you the only one looking for something real, grow up. Like, I'm saying,
so mean.
Stop the hypocrisy.
You're so mean.
That's a narcissist, bruh.
Well,
it's all about, I'm the only one on all of Tinder that's looking for something real. Shut up.
I think that's the way you're looking at it,
bruh.
And they're just being defensive for themselves.
That's great.
You know what? Just like how you
being defensive for themselves, but how about being open, just like you just said, for a relationship?
You gotta be exposed to these things. That's the reason why we give diverse clarity.
Agreed.
You making it seem like they want to be closed-minded. Sometimes they need words.
I'm not going to say that they want to be. I'm just going to say that there may be some people that are choosing to be. You know what I mean? They may not want to be, but they're choosing to be
closed-minded.
Choosing to be
on purpose.
Well, no, because okay, I think that if they want to be, then that means they wake up in the morning saying, I don't care what the possibilities of greatness are. I'm going to think this way. They want to be this way. That would be a want. But if they're choosing to be, they're looking at it like, the odds of me finding someone here are probably slim. Yeah. I don't want to be like this, but everything my friends say, this is what they're finding or not finding, and I got a feeling I'm fishing in the same pond. This is what I'm gonna pull up. You choose to be that way. We are what we attract. The energy that we put out, we get this back. Even if it's online.
But that's still, to me, it can be taught or influenced by somebody else.
I agree. And the first lesson, stop being a hypocrite. Yo, he is John D. I am Omega, and this is Diverse Clarity. This is where we have those thought-provoking conversations about things that matter and some that don't. We'll catch you next episode.
Boom.